Alright guys, this is going to be a layout update of what I've been doing all day since this evening around about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I have finally got this situated correctly. I had to do a lot of adjustments to get a new track in here. So there's 4 lines instead of 3 in the yard, leaving the empty track for the inbound, outbound. And now I classified this yard. This is now going to be a prototypical classification switching yard, just like a regular hump yard, but there's no hump. There's the kicking or the shoving to spot in the yard process. The automatic yard use a hump hill where they take the cars up the hill and then they let them down and they go into their classification yard. Manual yard is when they do them from kick and spot the cars into the yard from one end, and then the other end they block the cars specifically for outbound. So the way this is going to go is this end down here is going to be kicking the cars from the chemical plant. We'll take the chemical cars, take them over to the scale, weigh them. If we don't have any room in the yard, we have the track over here, we have a spur over here, and we have a spur over there. I'm going to put the engines on the for outbound over there, so they'll sit there ready for outbound departure, or they can come in for inbound and sit over there. It doesn't matter. That's where they're going to be sitting, or they'll be over here at the shop. So how this is going to go: once the cars come from the chemical plant and scaled and everything, they will be brought up here, and then they will be kicked into certain tracks, classified tracks: the DPRX, the TILX, and the TILX, the PPRX, and the DPRX cars are going to be going in track 1. That is their classified area in track 1. Track 2 are going to be only the STAX cars. That's their classification. STAX goes in this track. The third track is going to be the CBTX cars. The CBTX cars, the only 2 GATX cars, and the SCMX, which I only have 4 of those. So those 4 cars plus that 6 cars plus the CBTX goes in this track. And like I said, this is the inbound outbound track where we will be spotting the cars for outbound. So they will come from the chemical plant, classify the cars accordingly into the yard, shove the cars. We can't kick. I'm going to make this a no kicking layout. Okay, this will be a no kicking layout. So we'll shove the cars in according to their destination classification of track. On this end is where they will take the cars and set up for outbound. Now be mindful, there will be cars that's empty and loaded in this yard. We will have to pick the cars that come from the chemical plant and drag them out to be set out for outbound. So that's how an actual prototypical switching yard works. One end kicks the cars or hump the cars down to the classification track, and the other end, this end down here, will block the cars accordingly for outbound. So that's how a prototypical yard actually works. I don't think anybody ever explained it to anybody, but this is how it works. Okay. The next thing is over here. This is where the wash rack will finally be. I got tired of it being way over there, and I needed the STAX cars need to be in a certain area for the wash rack, so I decided to do it this way. Put the cars here. So when we pull the cars, when they pull the cars from that end, they not only will they pull the cars for outbound, but they will also pull the cars for spotting, and they will go here on this track. The wash cars will go at the front, and then after that, it will be the spot cars to go to the chemical plant. And then they will switch the cars out and try to get those cars from there over here in the yard. This will actually involve a switch list at all times so that I'll know which cars coming from the wash rack, which cars are coming from the chemical plant, and which cars are going to be actually from the chemical plant that goes directly outbound. So everything is going to be going simultaneously in this yard. And that's how pretty much actual yard works. There's three things going on at one time. You have cars being kicked in from one end, and at the same time they're blocking the train for outbound, or blocking cars to be for service cars to be outbound for the next crew or whenever they come in. So this is going to be a prototypical switching yard. This is actually how a yard works. I didn't want to do it too soon because I didn't know if anybody was pretty much familiar on how a yard works. And the ones that do know are actually used to work in a yard. So this is going to be prototypical switching. There will be a switch list. I have not built a switch list yet. And that will start this week, sometime this week. So y'all will actually get to see a full direct version of a switchless switching yard with the chemical plant and everything involved. Is it easy? No. And the reason why I say it's not easy because in fact you got, like I said, you have three things going on here. You got to build a train for the wash rack. You got to build a train for your spot cars at the chemical plant. And you got to build your outbound train as well. So you got three car trains pretty much going on at one end of the layout. And while that's going on, there's the other end where they taking the outbound cars from the closet branch, bringing them around and setting them in the yard. And then we have to classify those cars into the yard. So like I said, there is a process of switching operations on a layout. And this is going to be exact prototypical switching. And once again, let me explain that once again so everybody understand. One end of the yard is where they classify the cars into the yard. The other end is where they block the cars accordingly for their destination. And sometimes they do block cars down there on that end, but their main responsibility is blocking the cars, classifying the cars into the yard. And sometimes they can do the same thing down here, but we're going to try to keep it all on one end, classifying, and then all on the other end, blocking outbounds and blocking spot cars. Okay, so like I said, this is a spur track where we can actually set cars in. If the yard is almost full, we can put spare cars over here. Can they be pulled for spotting? Yes, they can be. We won't put any wash rack cars over here. They're pretty much going to stay over here on track 2. And then track 3 pretty much will not be full like this. This yard will not be full when we get it in rotation. It looks full. It's at what? I believe around about 80% full, probably 90% full, but when you got this track open, it is practically at 65% full. So that's pretty much how this is going to go. And y'all, I just cleaned up and it looks a mess again. So, and I just emptied that trash can like last week, I believe, and it's full again. Unfreaking believable. So this is pretty much it. Nothing really changed over here. Majority of everything that changed over here, I took that runaround track out and brought it over here. So this is pretty much going to be the runaround track, or the pocket runaround. So that's pretty much it on this. That's it. That's the layout. I did improve the curve over here. I did put a re-railer in there. at work we have a guide plate right off the switch, and we have a guide plate. So I decided let's just put a re-railer to represent the guide plate, so when it goes in, that the cars don't go off track. So that's what's that there for. So I hope y'all enjoyed this update. Um, it's pretty amazing. It looks a lot better. It's yeah, I did do some switching on it earlier, and um, it's 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 cool. Another good switching layout I have designed, and like I said, all I did was push the tracks in accordingly just to get another switch line in, and I adjust all this down here because I kind of didn't like the way it looked, but it looks a lot better now. So it runs smooth, everything is smooth. The only thing I really haven't tested, and I just finished this, is putting the dash nines on this curve to see how it takes the curve. I'll do that sometime tomorrow when I get off from work. But right now, I'm finna get ready to go to bed. Um, this is going to be a very tedious job switching this out, and I'm up for the challenge. Like I said, y'all, whenever you design your layout, if it's going to be a switching operation, kind of challenge yourself. Don't make it so basic till it's easy to do. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, twerk it a little bit to where tweak it a little. I'm sorry, twerk. I said twerk, y'all. Tweak it a little bit where it becomes a challenge. A pocket run around, a set out track, and all these tracks here, these three tracks here, are available for setting out if I decide to block the train from this end, which, like I said, I will not be blocking anything from this end. All this area is to shove the inbound train in and shove the chemical cars in on this end. And that end down there is to block the outbound. Okay. All right. It's time to go to bed. And I made this video too long, and I apologize for that. So, guys, thank you all for coming and watching this video. And like I said, if y'all have any ideas on how you want to do a track plan, here is a track plan for you, especially 4-rail. 4-rail is a direct switching operation nightmare if you can do it. I'm sure y'all have all seen me do it. Try it out. See if you like it on your layout. Just give it a try. It doesn't have to be very prototypical, just close enough to where you'll have a good idea on what to do. So, and like I said, this track here deads in, this track deads in. It has a crossover, and it goes into two tracks. It's a simple switching job, but there's only one way in and one way out. So it's one of those switching challenges that we have to do where I used to work at. So give it a try, see if you like it, and tell me what you think. Just try it on your layout. You don't have to actually do it. Just do a sample of it and see what you think. Until then, y'all take care. God bless. Be safe. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, guys.